lock on the canal in just a couple moments. Keep your eyes to the right. You might see a ship. There's a boat sitting on it.
A nuestra madre tierra la están destruyendo mucho.
We've come a long way here to New York to take part of the climate summit, and there are many youth here as well. If we want to stop our world from collapsing, we need to keep fossil fuel out of our atmosphere. We need to start protecting the Amazon and indigenous rights and indigenous people, the protectors and the guardians of the living forest. We need people all over the world to join our fight and be our allies. Not a single drop more. We need our governments and corporations and big companies to stop persecuting our leaders who are defending our territories and putting their lives at risk so that our world can survive.
Ascended to your divine path. Feels good, right? Back to originality. Now, I see that it's different up here. Inhale. Exhale. Oh my God! Inspirez. Expirez. Inspirez. Expirez.
Inspirez. Inspirez. Expirez. Inspirez. Expirez.
My name's Aaron. I don't know, I just want to become an artist. And probably, well, currently I want to stop climate change. But really, I also had a dream that it never happened and people figured it out way earlier and someone actually did something and I didn't have to strike every Friday.
My name is Kathleen Mulligan Ortiz, and I've been a part of Sustaining All Life since its beginning. It's an organization dedicated to challenging all oppression and eliminating all the oppressions that have actually caused the climate crisis, including capitalism, sexism, oppression of Native people. I'm 81 years old, and I have children and grandchildren, and the biggest concern is that we're not going to have, we're not going to have a planet that can sustain life, and that we're not leaving a world that we want to leave for our children.
There are lots of kids in my class who, what they want to do is they want to be a superhero. Their dreams, they make comics, and I'm like, if you want to be a superhero and save the world, you have an open chance. Take it. Strike every Friday. It's right in front of your nose. Take it. If I had dreams of saving the world, I would see now as a chance to save the world, which it is. There's no reason not to be concerned about your future. If you want a future, you have to work for it. So work for it. You want a future.
Let's create a movement. No borders within our countries, no wrongful beliefs. I am Yannicka, a human being, and I identify as a poet and a fashion designer. Humans living on the same globe. We've entered a stage where the air that we breathe is toxic, and ice caps are melting, sea levels are rising, and sea being full of plastic. as terrible that is, we must heal with humor.
Hi, my name is Azi Khalili, and I am a member of United to End Racism, Sustaining Our Life. I believe that this is a moment in human history where we need to build a very, very strong movement that is about connection, a strong movement that is about caring, a strong movement that is about loving human beings, and moving away from hatred, from disconnection, from individualism, and from greed. So therefore, I think that women in this moment in history need to be in the center of the climate movement.
So then we have this huge issue that affects all of us in our whole planet, and then the second issue is that most people are too distracted with their virtual realities and virtual worlds, that they're too distracted to care.
We need to continue to move towards green economies. And I think that we need to have individuals or groups of people who have been on the margins, who are the frontline communities, need to move to the center of this movement, and we need to follow their lead. We need to follow the lead of young people, we need to follow the lead of indigenous people, and we need to follow the lead of women.
Now we're seeking for solutions to bring people back to themselves and back to nature, because we all are part of nature. I too want it now and want it all, and let's just do it and just all shift at the same time, but that's not human nature. Human nature is locally one head turning one at a time, and then multiple heads turning. So yeah, there is awakening, but unfortunately with the time restriction that we have with the emissions being as wild as they are right now, it is a little frustrating.
We have scientific information to know that climate change is happening. We've known that for a long time. The doubt and the denial that we feel has been installed in our minds. We have been made by the fossil fuel industry has spent billions of dollars to create doubt, to get us to deny that this is happening. These are not fresh thoughts. We now see the climate emergency. We see droughts, heat waves, we see hurricanes. You can't deny that anymore.
We are on the verge of ruin, and humanitarian emergency amplifies. And we're stuck on our screens, trying to laugh about it. Laughing is a veil, a nervous reflex, a reaction. Laughing is a protection.
My name is Gene. I was born in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. I'm essentially a journalist. So the fire is racism, it's colonialism, it's capitalism. The water's the world, and it's been bubbling for a very, very long time. But now that it's spilling over, that's when the global concern is coming out. If we're not honest about that history, first, we won't address the issue. And if we don't also act after addressing the history, we will never solve the issue. And how do we act? We need to completely dismantle the relationships, the international relationships that exist today. That means by ending the occupation of Africa by European nations, all countries of people of the global majority, whether it's Central America, the Caribbean, South America, or Asia. That's the first step. The second step for me is then an actual mutual and equitable action steps to addressing the climate change issue. The Paris agreements do not, they may protect larger countries with larger economies and better infrastructure, but that leaves behind millions and billions of people who are on little islands that do not have the resources or infrastructure to survive the climate crisis.
We have a decade to save the planet. React. We must react. Open our eyes. But life on Earth has never been so comfortable, maybe too comfortable, and only for a few of us.
Welcome aboard, y'all. This boat's headed to Pier 11 Wall Street.
My name is Amy Kalisher. I came to Climate Week because I needed to push myself out of my comfort zone because this problem requires that. I guess I mostly worry about it being too hot for humans and other life. I feel like likely we're going to have shortages of food and clean water, and there's going to be war. Before the actual climate becomes unlivable, we're going to be desperate, and humans will struggle and kill each other. And I think that's going to happen sooner. Resources are scarce, it leads to conflict, and people try to control the resources. We already have that problem. The main feeling I have is discouragement. I think like for a lot of people who have relative privilege, you go numb around it. You just feel like you have no power, and you feel like even if you try, it's not going to make a difference. And that's the thing that I fight the hardest within myself. You know for sure you're not going to have any power or make any difference if you don't try. I live in the United States, and we have major issues with our government right now. And I think one big concern is what's going to happen with the next election, whether it's going to be legitimate. And I don't think that I have one, idea of what people should do, but except to wake up and engage. And the problem that I see, it's not the only problem, but one of the big problems I see is that there are people who can take in a little of the information, but they just don't know what to do with their feelings. And if they had a chance to release those feelings, they could take in more information. And then they could start to notice what's scary to them about taking action, and they can start to do that. Like, I think of it like, if you're afraid of heights, you take 3 steps up on a ladder and you feel terror and you shake and sweat and freak out. Gently pushing yourself a little further into places where you get to feel those feelings and become stronger and become someone with a voice.
Sean Jewett. In terms of financial models, it means we've got to get private sector into this game.
Implement it right now. Don't give us excuse that there is no money. Don't give us excuse that there is no political will. It's not issue of political will or money. There is no sustainable money without sustainable life on this planet.
Are we going to draw the line in the sun and tell everybody who is watching us here that we will be the first line of offense to employ everything in our power, plant trees, increase biodiversity, soil, elevate indigenous communities so that we can be able to confront this together? Are we ready to do that? Stand up now, if we believe in that. So stars. People, you know all I wanna do is rock your soul. Together we will build a community with love and harmony, away from the pettiness of jealousy. Yeah. So, rock your soul. Let me hear you say it. Rock your soul. Let me see your hands in the air if you really feel that we are going to be that generation that is going to go out there and make things.
Y yo imaginaba que Nueva York es un lugar paraíso, como uno no conoce se imagina eso, es un lugar paraíso que todo el mundo vive en igualdad, pero llegar de aquí en Nueva York lo que imaginen no es, porque nuestra selva es todo, el mercado, medicina, todo alimentamos y petróleo entra y nos destruye. Para nosotros es un sufrimiento para que ustedes tengan esa vida. Pedimos a ustedes que están aquí, cada uno, que pongamos a trabajar para el bien de nuestra seguridad por nuestros hijos.
A nuestra madre tierra lo están destruyendo mucho. Hay que unirnos, hay que hacer buenas alianzas con su buen pensamiento para poder tener y sostener lo que está aquí. Y uniéndonos, hacemos la unión y hacemos fuerza. Cuidémosla, porque la vida es una sola.
We have the means to stop destroying our planet. We have the intelligence to change our destructive way of life for every single one of us. Still, we must have the will to implement them. We don't need to consume, we need to breathe. Inhale, exhale. We have a decade to save the planet.
Oh honey, though our friendship